chosen one. This message reached you at an exact point in time that could not have been missed or delayed, because nothing about this moment is accidental or misplaced. It has been carefully arranged. And if you scroll past this moment, the pattern that has been draining you will quietly rebuild itself, not louder, just familiar enough to trap you again. You were guided here because there is something powerful resting inside you, something that has been waiting for the right signal to awaken. The quiet belief you carried about divine help arriving to shift your life was never wishful thinking. It was recognition. The weight you've been holding is not ordinary pressure. It is confirmation that something greater has been forming around you. As you hear this, notice if your shoulders tighten or your breath subtly changes. Your body is recognizing what your mind has been postponing. Someone with real influence, guided by forces beyond the visible, has noticed what you tried to keep small and unnoticed. And a door is being prepared that will move you out of an environment that has drained your spirit into one where you will finally feel supported and seen. Forces that have walked with you longer than memory, call them ancestors, angels, or unseen allies, have been arranging something significant beyond what you can currently see. If you've been noticing the signs that keep appearing, it's because your awareness has reached the level where guidance becomes visible. Take a brief, sacred pause here. Allow your breath to settle and your awareness to sharpen, because what follows is not ordinary information. This is not entertainment. It is a transmission meant for those who are ready to wake up and rise. If something in this message stirs the part of you that is tired of staying hidden and longs to step fully into purpose, the number 77 will already feel familiar to you, a quiet signal of alignment, readiness, and recognition. This message is not meant for those avoiding transformation. It is meant for those who have endured, who have been tested, and who are now positioned for divine alignment. Stay with this until the end, because what unfolds next carries insight that sharpens discernment and releases what was once blocked by illusion. Return to it when needed, because each time truth reveals another layer, lifting you higher into the future that has already been prepared for you. This is not coincidence. This is your moment. Chapter 1. Your spirit sensed the shift long before any door visibly opened, long before an offer had a name or a shape, because your soul is always ahead of circumstances. Even before opportunity found you, something inside began to stir, subtle at first, then impossible to ignore. You may have looked around your life and quietly wondered why everything suddenly felt misaligned, why places that once felt familiar now felt confining, why conversations that used to flow with ease felt hollow, strained, almost rehearsed. The routine you once relied on for comfort started to feel restrictive, like living inside a version of yourself that no longer fit, and you questioned whether it was just fatigue, boredom, or restlessness. It wasn't. What you were experiencing was a sacred unease, a divine signal alerting you that movement was coming. Your inner guidance had already begun preparing you, dropping hints through overheard conversations, unexpected messages, chance meetings, and recurring thoughts about people, places, and futures that resonated with something deeper than logic. A city you had never considered suddenly lingered in your mind. A different creative path felt magnetic. A shift in direction stopped feeling optional and started feeling necessary. These were not random thoughts. They were precise invitations. Still, doubt tried to intervene, subtle but persistent, reminding you to stay grateful, to stay safe, to not reach for what seemed too big or too sudden. But those voices were never truth. They were echoes of old limitations, trying to delay what was already unfolding. Then, without warning but right on time, something shifted in the external world. Someone with real reach entered your orbit through a conversation, a message, a connection that didn't feel accidental in any way. You learned that someone with influence and vision had noticed you, not just your skills or surface presence, but the deeper current that drives you. At first, it may have felt unreal, almost suspicious in its timing, yet your soul knew immediately. The energy was clean. There was no pressure, no manipulation, no rush. It felt like alignment, like recognition, like a door you had been walking toward for longer than this lifetime finally opening. In that moment, the heaviness of stagnation began to lift, replaced not with chaos, but with anticipation. The walls that once felt immovable started to thin. Doubt loosened its grip, and preparation replaced waiting. Yes, this movement may carry you into unfamiliar territory, a new environment, a new circle, a new level of responsibility. But this is not reckless hope. This is ordained motion. Your purpose was never preserved through generations for you to remain unseen. This is not just a change, it is a placement, positioning your gift where it will expand rather than diminish. Fear may still whisper, but it no longer has authority. What has begun cannot be reversed. The longing you felt was your soul remembering where it belongs. And now reality is finally catching up. You can do everything right and still feel invisible, and that confusion has been exhausting you. And most people never talk about how confusing that feels. Chapter 2. You lived through a long stretch of being unseen, a season where your presence felt invisible no matter how much you poured out. For a long time, it seemed like your efforts vanished into the background, like your name was never spoken in the rooms where it mattered. You had moments of brilliance, undeniable ones, where you solved problems others couldn't, held broken spaces together, showed up with insight, care, and strength. Yet the recognition either passed quickly or never arrived at all. That silence worked on you. It made you second-guess your own gifts, question whether your abilities were real or imagined, and quietly wonder if you had misread your own calling. But the truth is deeper than disappointment. You were concealed with intention. You were kept out of the spotlight, not as a form of rejection, but as protection. Those guiding you allowed you to mature away from distraction, to refine your wisdom where noise could not dilute it. Early applause would have shaped you too soon, made you dependent on approval, or exposed you to envy, misuse, and exhaustion before you were fortified enough to withstand it. While others chased visibility, you were being formed into substance. You learned how to stay disciplined without witnesses, how to remain committed when no one was watching, how to keep showing up when validation never came. That quiet ground trained your endurance. It stripped ego away and replaced it with depth. And now, because you remained steady in obscurity, the shift toward visibility has begun. This is not chance selection. The timing carries precision. The person moving toward you holds access to a realm that resonates with who you truly are. They are not arriving to rescue you. They are arriving because what they are building requires the essence you carry. They see what your previous environment could not contain, and this time you will not dim yourself to fit. You will not apologize for your clarity, your insight, your power, because you already learned how to exist without applause. External validation no longer controls you. The space you are entering does not demand performance, only authenticity. Those observing you now are aligned. Their presence is not rooted in jealousy but in expansion. They are not trying to mold you into something smaller. They are making room for you to step fully forward. Yes, the contrast may feel startling. After years in the background, being called into visibility can feel unreal, almost disorienting. But do not let that hesitation slow you. The door was held until you could walk through without losing yourself. You are ready. What waits ahead has been waiting on your depth, not your fame. The years of being overlooked were not lost time. They were deliberate preparation. The groundwork is complete. The opening is real. The movement has begun. This is the rise you were shaped for all along. Chapter 3. You outgrew rivalries and the ones who pretended to hold the keys, and that realization did not come gently. One of the clearest signs that you were meant for something greater was the environment that kept pressing against you. It was crowded with small competitions, unspoken power plays, and people who acted as if opportunity belonged to them. They noticed your light immediately, not up close, but enough to feel its threat. And instead of nurturing it, they tried to contain it. Some quietly blocked your access, keeping you out of rooms you were clearly qualified to enter. Others delayed resources you needed, creating artificial limits around your growth. A few moved in shadows, spreading doubt, questioning your integrity, or interfering just enough to slow your momentum. The entire system was built on illusion, designed to keep you busy, proving yourself instead of becoming yourself. For a time, you believed that if you could earn their approval, show loyalty, or wait your turn patiently enough, the door would finally open. But that was never the path. It was the snare. Those guiding you allowed the resistance for a reason. They watched as you exhausted yourself trying to satisfy rules that were never meant to free you, because discernment is born through contrast. You needed to feel the difference between support and control, between mentorship and manipulation. Slowly, something shifted in you. You stopped chasing their validation. You recognized that their permission was never required. Your calling was not subject to their authority. Your purpose did not need their endorsement. Still, the illusion lingered, whispering doubts, asking if you were rushing, if you needed to suffer longer, if more waiting would make you worthy. Rejection kept showing up, friction kept repeating, until clarity finally arrived. You were finished playing a game that was never designed for your victory. That decision marked the turning point, not because you defeated them, but because you no longer needed them. That's the shift. In that release, your inner guidance grew louder, and the noise of rivalry lost its power. Then the irony unfolded. The moment you stopped bowing to false authority, the moment you chose authenticity over approval, alignment began to move. A connection entered your path that did not seek to manage or minimize you. Someone with real reach, real clarity, and real authority appeared, capable of opening doors the old gatekeepers could never touch. There was no performance required, no shrinking needed. Most people never realize they've outgrown the room they're in. They just learn to shrink until the room feels familiar again. This was recognition without conditions. From here forward, competition may still exist, but it will no longer define you. You are operating beyond their reach now, in a realm where small control cannot follow. The trials were never about them. They were about you learning to trust yourself fully, and now that you do, positioning has replaced resistance. The era of being underestimated has closed. The season of divine placement has begun. What is moving toward you cannot be stopped. Chapter 4. You sharpened your gifts where no one was looking, and that hidden season was never empty or wasted. While the world overlooked you, you were awake in ways most people never become, quietly building, stretching, and preparing without applause to distract you. There was no spotlight, no validation loop feeding your ego, but you were given something rarer and more powerful: uninterrupted solitude, where your craft could mature without interference. Some nights your room became a sacred workspace, a place where ideas poured in and clarity formed in silence. Some days you practiced, studied, refined, and failed in corners that drew no attention, yet every repetition strengthened you. You were unseen, but you were not idle. You were becoming formidable in ways that cannot be faked. While others chased visibility and approval, you chose depth, choosing mastery over noise, substance over performance. Illusion tried to convince you that progress without witnesses was meaningless, that effort without recognition didn't count, but a deeper knowing kept guiding you forward. You were reminded that what is built away from eyes endures longer, that what grows without distraction cannot be easily shaken. In that privacy, you learned discernment. You learned to guard your ideas, to be intentional about who had access to your energy, your vision, your developing strength. Visibility remained low, but capacity expanded rapidly. Every quiet step mattered. Every unseen win registered. Every late-night insight, every moment of clarity, every small breakthrough accumulated into something formidable. Silence gave you access to instruction you could never have heard in noise. You weren't delayed, you were shielded. You didn't miss momentum, you bypassed unnecessary detours. While others burned out chasing validation, you advanced beyond what most people ever reach, because you were free to grow without ego or external pressure. Now that season is reaching its turning point. What you cultivated in private is nearing revelation. Your name is being spoken in spaces you haven't entered yet. Alignment is positioning you directly in front of someone who recognizes depth and understands value. Not because you demanded attention, not because you promoted yourself, but because your quiet excellence carries its own authority. When the moment arrives, whether it looks like a platform, a role, or a relocation, you will not scramble to catch up. You will already be ready. And those who once underestimated you will struggle to comprehend how refined your abilities truly are. This was never accidental. The hidden season was intentional. The unveiling is coming, and what was shaped in the dark will shine with a clarity that only privacy could produce. Chapter 5. You broke free from the lie that told you it wasn't time yet, and that illusion had held more power over your life than almost anything else. For so long, the idea that the moment had to be perfect kept you standing still. How many doors did you hesitate at because you believed your life needed to look more settled first? You convinced yourself you would move once things calmed down, once finances improved, once the relationship healed, once the stress eased. That belief whispered patience but delivered paralysis, keeping you in waiting far longer than your spirit ever agreed to. The truth you eventually faced was uncomfortable but liberating. The perfect moment was never coming because your destiny was never designed to be activated by comfort. It was designed to be activated by trust. Those guiding you never waited for everything to be neat and orderly. In fact, they often stirred movement at the most inconvenient moments, when you felt stretched thin, overwhelmed, or unsure. Delay is where illusion survives, and the longer you waited for life to align flawlessly, the longer the illusion could keep you disconnected from what was calling you forward. Destiny responds to movement, not perfection. You were given brief windows, sudden invitations, unexpected openings that made no logical sense at the time. Travel appeared out of nowhere. A connection surfaced without warning. A pull to act rose when you felt least prepared. None of it arrived when your life looked polished. It arrived when your willingness mattered more than your readiness. And each time you chose to respond, even with uncertainty in your chest, provision followed. Strength showed up. Support appeared. What felt reckless at first revealed itself as training, teaching you to move when the inner signal came, not when circumstances felt safe. Slowly, your decision-making shifted. You stopped asking whether the timing was convenient and started listening for whether it was aligned. That change released you from stagnation. You recognized that waiting for the right moment had often been fear disguised as wisdom. Illusion said later. Alignment said now. And as you honored that guidance, your capacity expanded. Timing lost its power to intimidate you. As this next movement approaches, hesitation no longer holds you. If the call comes to pivot, relocate, or step into unfamiliar ground, you recognize it as approval in itself. Loose ends no longer stop you. Unfinished details no longer delay you. You've learned that divine timing doesn't require a clear schedule, only a willing spirit. Alignment has taught you that discomfort does not signal error, it signals growth. The moments you feel least prepared are often the moments when movement matters most. You no longer confuse inconvenience with warning. You understand now that sacred disruption carries purpose. That is why your capacity was stretched. So when the next door opens without announcement, you won't freeze. You'll move. The illusion of wrong timing has lost its grip. You are no longer waiting for life to be ready. You are ready. There is grief in realizing how long you waited for permission that was never required, and relief in knowing you will never wait that way again. That realization changes how you trust yourself forever. Chapter 6. You chose the divine over the crowd, and that choice was tested in ways that looked ordinary on the surface, but carried enormous weight beneath. It didn't arrive with spectacle or warning. It showed up quietly in everyday moments, where your need to be accepted was gently pressed. A co-worker laughed off what mattered most to you. A family member dismissed your inner knowing with a glance. Friends, media, and familiar voices nudged you to blend in, to soften your edge, to stop standing apart. None of it was accidental. These were subtle trials, carefully placed to see whether you would retreat back into comfort, or stand firm in truth. There was a time when you would have downplayed who you were, dimmed your convictions for peace, smiled through disrespect just to keep harmony. That wasn't weakness. It was a longing to belong. What you couldn't see then was how each compromise fed an illusion, the belief that acceptance from people mattered more than alignment with the divine, that approval from the crowd carried more weight than obedience to your inner call. But something shifted, quietly and irrevocably. You stopped performing. You let others misunderstand you without rushing to correct them. You allowed judgment to pass without defense. You didn't argue, convince, or shrink. You listened instead to that steady inner signal that had never left you. With every choice of truth over comfort, the illusion weakened. It cost you something. Relationships changed. Labels were placed on you. Distance appeared where closeness once lived. But your focus was no longer on being liked. It was on being aligned. When guilt tried to surface, when the urge to please returned, you stopped looking outward for reassurance and turned inward instead. You asked the deeper question, and the answer brought clarity. You were no longer available for approval that demanded silence from your soul. Over time, the environment adjusted. Some people fell away. Some remained and grew. Others stayed at a distance, unsure but no longer able to control you. And the greatest change was within you. You no longer apologized for your depth. You no longer reduced yourself to make others comfortable. Fear of rejection lost its grip. The need to explain dissolved. You began to move with certainty. When opportunities now appear that confuse or unsettle those around you, you don't hesitate. You no longer ask how it will look or who will approve. That chain has already been broken. You proved where your loyalty lies. You have been tested, refined, and strengthened. Alignment has replaced approval. A quiet fire moves with you now, steady and undeniable. You walk differently because you chose truth over the crowd, and that choice has made you unshakable. Chapter 7. Your relocation unlocks the next level, and the moment you were being shaped for has finally arrived. Every inner test, every night you felt alone with your thoughts, every conversation that stretched you, and every illusion you dismantled was part of a precise preparation leading to this point. You are no longer the version of yourself that needed familiarity or approval to feel secure. That version carried you far, but this one carries authority. Your watchers have already recognized the shift. You are marked ready for a new realm, a wider reach, an environment where your gifts can expand instead of being contained. This movement is not about escape or abandonment, and it is not about starting from nothing. It is about stepping into alignment at a higher frequency, in a place designed to support what you bring rather than suppress it. The opening may appear suddenly, a message, an invitation, a provision that arrives faster than logic can explain. It may feel unreal for a moment, but your spirit will recognize the signature immediately. This is not luck. This is orchestration. There will be tenderness in the leaving, a quiet ache as you loosen your grip on what once felt safe. But that feeling is not regret. It is confirmation that you are stepping beyond the limits of your former life. The enclosure you adapted to can no longer hold you, and the door has been opened with intention. You are being guided into an atmosphere where your presence awakens others, where your insight is valued, and where your energy finally matches the room. Along the way, you may encounter a guide, a collaborator, or a circle that feels strangely familiar, as if you have been moving toward one another for a long time. But remember, this move is not driven by comfort. It is guided by timing, and that timing is active now. Obstacles may still appear, but they will not destabilize you. You have already faced the hardest challenge, choosing authenticity over acceptance. That strength moves with you. You do not need every detail mapped out, you only need alignment. When the opening presents itself, step through. When the opportunity speaks your name, answer it. When old doubts resurface and question whether it will work, remember where you have already survived, adapted, and grown in spaces that were never meant to nurture you. This new environment is different. It was prepared with you in mind. Readiness has been confirmed. The illusions have fallen away. The path ahead is clear, and what has begun cannot be reversed. This relocation is not coincidence. It is sacred placement, and you are ready to receive it. Chosen one, let the weight drop from your shoulders for a moment, because there is nothing you need to fix, prove, or push through in order to be worthy of what is unfolding. And this season is not asking you to try harder, but to soften your grip and pause. You are invited to allow yourself to stop managing everything, even briefly, and notice how your body responds when it realizes it does not have to hold the future together. Alignment right now can look very small and very quiet, like giving yourself permission to wake up without immediately checking your phone, or placing one hand on your chest before the day begins and taking a slow breath, reminding yourself that you are already carried. You don't need to overhaul your life to prepare for divine movement. You are simply invited to create tiny spaces where trust can breathe, such as leaving a moment of silence between tasks, stepping outside for a few minutes without an agenda, or drinking a glass of water with full attention instead of rushing past your own needs. Rest in this season is not withdrawal, it is integration, and you may notice that your body asks for more stillness, slower mornings, or earlier nights, not because you are weak, but because something deeper is settling into place. Release can be practiced gently by allowing one worry to remain unanswered for the day, letting it rest in God's hands without rehearsing it, or by choosing not to explain yourself when you feel the urge to justify your choices. Trust grows in these small allowances, when you notice that life continues to move even when you stop forcing it. Receiving does not require effort. It simply asks openness, which might look like accepting help without guilt, resting when tired without self-judgment, or letting joy arrive without questioning whether you deserve it. You are not meant to carry the timing, the outcome, or the mechanics of what is next, because that work is already being done beyond your awareness. Each small act of softness teaches your nervous system that safety does not come from control, but from surrender. And as you live this way, gently, honestly, and without pressure, you may find yourself feeling lighter, steadier, and more supported, without needing to understand why. You do not need clarity before peace, or certainty before rest, because what is meant for you will arrive in its own time, without strain, without forcing, and without you having to hold everything together. Chosen one, let this moment settle gently within you, because everything you have felt, questioned, and recognized throughout this message was meaningful and intentional, not imagined or misplaced. You are not behind, not lost, and not overlooked. And the pace you are moving at is in harmony with the season shaping you. What stirred inside you was simply truth remembering itself. You do not need to hold tension or search for certainty right now, because you are being carried with care. Stay here a little longer, resting in this quiet awareness as we move softly into the stillness of the prayer that follows. If it feels safe, you are gently invited to leave a few words in the comments, not to explain yourself, but to place before God what has been resting in your heart, a hope, a fear, a question, or a pain you've never spoken out loud. Writing it here is not just a comment, it is an act of release, a quiet offering placed into hands that see and understand. God is attentive to what is shared in sincerity and responds in His perfect timing. If this moment brought comfort, you may share this video with someone who needs the same peace, and subscribe to remain connected to these sacred pauses. You are not alone, and this moment is being held in grace.